and thank you for joining us inside another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Audrey Williams. As we bid the summer a fond farewell, we're excited to bring in a new season, which is already here, a time of more rain and cooler evenings. Along with that, teachers and students are expected to return to the classroom on Monday, September 5. And so today we're sharing some advice on how to prepare your body and mind for any new venture or journey. But first, we'll show you how some of our young people stayed active and engaged all summer long. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, September 2, 2022. Minister of Education and Youth, Favour Williams, is reporting that government has filled many of the teacher vacancies leading into the new school year on Monday. In a press briefing on Thursday, the minister reported that 248 resignations have been received from educators across the sector. But she says principals are utilizing various approved methods to fill the positions.
For example, Region 2, which would be St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary, they have reported that 80% of the schools reported that they have replaced teachers who have resigned.
She adds that one corporate area school, which lost 16 teachers, has replaced all but one. In August, the education minister announced that government would be looking to fill the teacher vacancies through a number of avenues. That includes recruiting from the 964 trained specialized teachers that have graduated this year, with 121 of them who were on the Ministry of Education's Special Scholarship Program already tapped to join the public school system this month. Going forward, Minister Williams says work is underway to launch a platform where those looking to join the teaching profession can upload their resumes.
It will allow greater efficiency in terms of connecting schools to teachers, getting those interviews done, and so on. And we hope to have this facility on into the future.
Meanwhile, the education minister says the previously announced transport subsidies for students on the Program of Advancement through Health and Education PATH will be made available. Approximately $380 million has been budgeted through the ministry's Rural Transportation Program to provide the transport subsidies to 7,500 students. It's a collaborative effort between the Ministries of Education and Youth and Transport and Mining.
This is organized at the school level. Our principals know the PATH students in their schools and their transportation needs.
Minister Williams is encouraging parents, students, and educators to be cautious on the roads when the new school year begins on September 5th. The first set of vaccines to treat the monkeypox disease is expected to arrive in Jamaica this month. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, made the announcement on Wednesday at the Open House and Exhibition ceremony for the rehabilitation of public health facilities in St. Catherine. He says that, as was done with COVID-19, a priority group will be targeted for the first distribution of monkeypox vaccines. This comes as the island has recorded its fifth case of the disease just before the beginning of the 2022-2023 school year. Dr. Tufton is calling on parents to be vigilant, but assures that government is taking the relevant steps to protect children. He says the same health and safety protocols that have been in place to manage the spread of the COVID-19 virus within schools will also be maintained throughout the new academic year. These include abiding by social distancing protocols, wearing masks, frequent hand washing, and designated areas for sanitization on school grounds. $200 million has been seeded into the National Irish Potato and Onion Program to increase the hectares under production and improve crop yields. $150 million is allocated for the Irish Potato Program, while $50 million will be invested in onion production for the next planting season. Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Pernell Charles Jr., says the ministry is targeting 15,000 hectares of lands for Irish potato cultivation.
The areas to be targeted include Guys Hill, of course, and the Manchester Belt, along with the Upper Westmoreland, Darlington area, and Mavis Bank in St. Andrew. And we're going to continue to strengthen all of the farmers who have made their commitment and investment in this potato and onion program.
Minister Charles Jr. was speaking at the launch of the National Irish Potato and Onion Program at the Guys Hill Community Centre on Wednesday. He says the goal is to increase onion production by 50%. New variety of seeds will be introduced for both crops, including the Bamba, Memphis, and Primabel for potatoes, and the Texas Early Grano and Mercedes for onions. Farmers are to get access to the seeds by mid-October. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security has commissioned a fact-finding team to investigate the working conditions of Jamaican farm workers in Canada. Portfolio Minister Carl Samuda says that although the farm work program has improved significantly over the decades, there is room for continuous improvement. In a media release yesterday, the Labour Ministry also reported that Canadian High Commissioner to Jamaica, Her Excellency Amina Tudakovic, has indicated her government's support for the move. During a courtesy call with Minister Samoud on Thursday, the High Commissioner said the Jamaican workers in Canada had maintained a solid reputation as good workers, and her government shared Jamaica's concern for their safety and security. She added that the Canadian government would support tactical solutions identified by the task force to improve conditions wherever necessary. In the meantime, Minister Samuda says the ministry's liaison service has been tasked with redoubling its efforts at ensuring workers have easy access to existing mechanisms for confidentially reporting issues of poor working conditions and other concerns. The ministry is inviting farm workers, advocate groups, and members of the public to report known incidences of mistreatment, poor working conditions, and other concerns. These reports can be made to the liaison service via its toll-free line 1-888-898-3951 or via email at jamlisa@belnet.ca. Reports may also be made confidentially to the Canadian Authority's Integrity Services branch online. And finally, 20 communities across the island are earmarked for social and economic development under Project STAR. The new initiative is led by the private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, in partnership with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. Salt Spring in St. James was recently chosen as one of the 8 communities in the Western region to benefit from the $2 billion project, which will run for 5 years. The intervention will include programs catering to employment, entrepreneurship, financial inclusion, and strategic investments for residents. Stakeholders will also work with communities to decide strategies for social programs required for children. Representing the Commission of Police, Senior Superintendent of Police Stephanie Lindsay says the project aligns with the JCF's community strategies and the force welcomes the collaboration.
You're not bringing something to Salt Spring and say, we are bringing this. They are taking along the community with us. As we develop the program, we're getting their consensus. So at the end of the day, even when all the other persons have left, the people and the project and all the possibilities and solutions will still be a part of this community, and we will be replicating it right across other communities in Jamaica.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
As we bid goodbye to the summer, we'd like to highlight a few of the activities our youth have been participating in. After seeing this, I hope you'll think about taking part in any of the Summer Brain teasers for next year.
The expression of the imagination through human creative skill, conveyed through a visual format, is the concept of art. So come, take the journey with me to an institution that puts its heart into the arts.
You are at our summer school under the theme Tonya and McFashion.
This theme translates into how you can use what you possess to make something new and creative, a skill the students will learn here at this Edna Manley Summer.
So we have 3 aspects of our summer school for our children between the ages 4 and 11 years old, and that's our Kaleidoscope program. That's an integrated arts program where the children are exposed to music, dance, drama, and the visual arts. We have our Art Scope for our teenagers, and this is where our children kind of specialize in an area, so they are exposed to either visual arts, drama, music, or dance.
But little did they know that one lithography will change their world.
This year in visual arts, they have 3 tracks. So they either focus on drawing and painting, or they do ceramics and sculpting, or they do fashion design and jewelry making.
All the artistry seen in this summer program illustrate the Jamaican proverb, "Turn your hand, make fashion," at the same time exposing students to their culture and the colorful folk forms.
John Kuno. So you will notice that all throughout the areas they are using the John Kuno motif to explore content. The art is academic as well as creative, and we want the children to explore all the areas that they can. The creative industry is really booming, and we want to play our part as the first and only of its kind, the institution, Edna Manley, in pushing out the youngsters for the creative industry. And so we're excited that this year, though we took a break for 2 years in terms of our summer school, that this year we have been able to engage them again face to face.
And here's what the students have to say about that.
In the beginning, it was a bit iffy. We weren't really sure of what was going on, but along the way, we got to be introduced to many different things and many different opportunities.
I've learned a lot. I've explored my fashion sense. I didn't know that I could be so creative. I really enjoyed it. So we used the light box for helping us to draw the illustrations, as well as making sure that our proportions were right. We used regular paper to come up with our ideas. We used color swatches, so we kept our color scheme the same throughout the whole process. I've enjoyed the whole entire process of learning how to come up with the ideas and making my design.
Our registration for summer school is open May 1 each year. All the transactions are able to be done online, and you don't even have to come in. We have a parents meeting, we talk them through the entire process, we go through the handbooks, what they can expect, and they also share with us things that they would like, and so we help to work together to make it happen.
And if you should miss Edna Manley's summer in Kingston, not to worry, you might find them in your neck of the woods.
We are working on taking Edna out of Kingston into our parishes.
Every child can join in this creative experience. If you should hear a voice within you say you're not creative, start to create, and that voice will surely fade. To learn more about how your child can participate in these programs, you can visit their website at www.emc.edu.jm and their social media pages at Edna Manley College.
The Ministry of Education and Youth has been working to ensure that every student will have a successful academic life and prepared to enter the job market. One of the ministry's top officials, who is tasked with making sure they are carrying out the government's mandate to improve the public sector, is profiled in our upcoming feature. Please take a look.
Hey, good morning. Hi, Dr. Chu, how are you doing?
I am fine, thank you.
I see that you're fine. I see that you're fine.
I am headed out though.
I see that. Yeah. Well, we'll head out with you.
Okay.
So you can get ready, and we definitely will just be having a quick chat.
All right, so just give me a minute. I'll go and get my stuff.
You know what happened? I'll be following you.
All right, no problem.
I'll come with you. Dr. Chu, I know that everybody starts their day in a particular way.
Yes.
What would you say are your morning rituals, the things that you must do?
I'm an early bird. I get up early every morning. By 5 o'clock I am up and I listen to my morning inspiration. So I turn on my phone to Nationwide and get the morning spiritual inspiration. And then most times, not all the times, I go jogging with my husband to get my exercise in.
Tell us, what do you do?
Education is really about life, living. And my task really is to ensure we operate a smooth, effective education system that will enable our boys and girls to be their best selves. I have the best job in the world, but the most difficult.
Tell me the most difficult decision you've had to make this week. And you could probably share what the decision was.
Wow, I make tough decisions every day, especially when it comes down to resources, making the best use of resources for our country. Now, just yesterday, we have been meeting with the World Bank because we're looking at an education mission. And we have to decide on how to utilize the limited resources to treat with some capacity building for our teachers. Now, you know that the education system cannot surpass the quality of its teachers, but we have teachers in service and we have teachers who are considered pre-service. Now, I've had to make the decision with respect to who gets the resources. Do we improve the teachers who are being trained, or do we treat with those teachers who are currently in service? Now, that was most difficult because both categories of teachers are important to the transformation.
Dr. Chu, there are different things that inspire individuals. Who or what has inspired you lately?
You know, I'm really inspired by those with whom I work with and those that I serve. When the students do well in their areas of talent, when I watch the Boys and Girls Championship, when I watch the scholarship ceremonies, when I watch the students in their dance form and their art forms, that really and truly inspires me.
What is Dr. Chu's legacy in the public sector? What would that be? What does that sound like? What does that look like?
Wow, that's a big one. Really, what I would love to know at the end of my tenure as a leader, that all our educational institutions are performing above satisfactory. Now, that's a difficult task, but it is not impossible. Right now, I have 243 schools that are deemed unsatisfactory, and I am committed to seeing those schools move to satisfactory and then take them to good and excellent. That's the legacy I want to leave, because that means students are getting the best education program possible and getting the opportunity to become the best persons that they can be.
I'm sure with the demands of your job, you travel different places, you go different places. What's the most interesting place that your job has taken you to?
You know, I've been to China and I've looked at their education system as part of a study tour. And what was most impressive for me is the discipline of the students. Now, I got a chance to see the teachers moving away from the classroom into a planning session, and the students moved into self-directed learning. I'm really hoping for the day that we can see that happening in Jamaica, where our students can take self-directed learning to another level. That is going to be very, very important to maximizing and learning time and extending the learning support that our boys and girls need to become their best selves. So that's something that I found interesting, and I'm moving for that to be a part of Jamaica's education system.
Can you say anything in Chinese?
Xie xie. It means thank you. I learned that. That's the only thing I could say over there.
Recommend one book that you'd want everyone to read.
Well, you know, when I got the opportunity to lead the sector at this level, I figured I needed to improve in my leadership.
So John C. Maxwell is one of my favorites. And so How to Lead Successfully, the 5 Levels of Leadership, that's a book that I'm reading. Now, to be honest with you, I don't get the chance to do it as much as I want, but I get to put in a few pages each night to examine my own style of leadership and how I can become better. Because to move the system is not about your positional power. It's really about the influence and how persons believe in your capacity to deliver and what that does for them. That's very important, and that's part of the levels of leadership that I'm taking myself on, and I will recommend that as a good book for any leader, because the truth is everything falls and rises on leadership.
Dr. Troop, this is where we say, have a great day, and as you learned, share.
Thank you too, and I'm late for my meeting. Bye.
Now here's a message from our Prime Minister Andrew Holness, addressed to you, our youth, as well as to everyone else aspiring to be a better version of themselves.
The first step of wanting to get empowerment and be empowered is you must never be satisfied with the way you are. You must always be seeking to improve. So you must always be seeking more, seeking better, because you can always do better. You can always improve. And I believe that sometimes in our society, we don't always encourage people to improve. Even in our household, we tend to say, well, you're just like your daddy, meaning to say you're not going to be better than what your father or parent has achieved. You go on like you're better than people, meaning to say that we must all stay at the lower stage and not seek to improve ourselves. In fact, there is this thing in our culture that makes it appear as if someone is trying to improve themselves, they are doing something bad. That is true, right? When what we should be doing is to applaud people who work hard and achieve. Right? Yes, that's what we should do. But somehow in our culture, we have turned it upside down. And it is very pervasive in the classroom, because you see what happens is it provides cover for people who are lazy and people who don't want to change and people who are set on a pathway to failure. So they don't want anyone doing better than the average, because then they will have to put out a little bit more effort. Now, if that is allowed to be the common standard in the society, then our society will never improve. So, one of the things I want to give you today is that you must never be ashamed of success. And you must always seek to be the best at what you do, to be excellent.
The travel application was created by the Transport Authority for the protection of the commuting public. please download the TravelPad application on the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store. Once you download the application, put in your phone number, register the application under your phone number, and then you'll be able to verify the license plate that you're going in. Once you verify the license plate and the information of the vehicle, you will then be able to share that trip of the vehicle that you're in. And if there is difficulty on the trip, you will be able to push a panic button and share your location with others as well. Download the application, give us our feedback at customerservice@ta.org.jm. Don't forget, it's free to download, free to use.
Starting a new school year may be both nerve-wracking and exciting. It is what is referred to as a balanced life experience, and it is a challenge we all encounter. This academic year, you don't have to make the journey alone. Looking for advice to help you as a new student at school? Look no further. We have it right here. Tips that will ensure you never miss a beat. 1. Take a day to appreciate the environment. Ask where places are, especially common areas like the cafeteria and bathroom. 2. Be friendly to everyone, teachers and students alike, because they might just be your new teacher or friend. 3. Don't be shy and let your individuality shine when making new acquaintances. That's the greatest method to locate your tribe. 4. Pay close attention in class to avoid missing anything. And 5, above all, be authentic. Don't obsess over what people think of you. Simply stay loyal to yourself, and what and who is for you won't be able to pass you. 6. Additionally, while it's okay to display your sense of humor, becoming the class clown may harm your long-term social and academic success. Keep these suggestions in mind. I believe you are prepared for this. We're all cheering for you. We've come to the end of our program. Get a recap of all you saw here and more on our website at www.jis.gov.jm. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Audrey Williams. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.